The following movies that will be shown to you today are some of the worst animated movies I have ever covered on this forsaken channel. They contain such lewd acts as cringe, bad animation, and Rob Schneider. If any of these offend you, please know that viewer discretion is advised. What up, I'm Xander, and you've probably been asked this question multiple times if you're into animated movies or just movies in general. What is the worst animation studio? Now, it's commonly seen to be Illumination, which is totally fair. Their movies are usually low quality and not the most interesting for all audiences. But personally, I recently came across a company so horrendous, and I mean it when I say that, folks, horrendous. And it turns out all four of the movies they had something to do with are some of the most mind-numbingly terrible animated films out there. You couldn't pay me to... You could pay me. These four movies all come from this specific studio, and you've probably never even heard of them. Ladies and gentlemen, this company is known as Assemblage. Founded in 2013 in Mumbai, India, since 2015, Assemblage has had their hands in 4 animated features, with one just coming out last week as of this video's release. So I'm just going to go through all 4 of these movies and give my thoughts on them, of course, and if you like this content, please subscribe if you haven't already. We are doing so good on growth on this channel, and I love y'all for it. Let's get to it. Okay, so as I said, 3 of these 4 films are pretty bad. Well, their first film, Blinky the Movie, is only mediocre. This is by far the safest bet if you want to watch any of these films. It's so safe that it's not anything special, but it works with what it's given. That being said, who is Blinky Bill and why does he get a movie? Well, Blinky Bill the Movie is a children's book from Australia dating back to 1933 and is in fact an essential children's book over there, preserved by the Australian Children's Classics and such. They haven't been out of print ever. Such, in 2015 we got this movie, and by God, it's fine. Follows Blinky Bill as he goes on an adventure. Yeah, the plots are never anything special in these movies. It's cute, the characters are all very cute. It's hard to hate it, you get what you see in the title, a Blinky Bill movie. If I actually wanted to bitch about this, well, that's what I get paid to do, but it would be silly. It's such a safe bet kids film that I have nothing more to say about it. I have watched quite a few bad animated movies on this channel, and yet nothing has quite come as close to being one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Hell, let's just go ahead and say it, folks. This is the worst animated movie I've ever watched for this channel, and possibly the worst movie I've ever watched for this channel. Are you ready? You're not fucking ready. I see it in your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, Norm of the North. You've probably heard of this film, whether it be from an online critic, a cringy clip, Rob Schneider. Personally, I first heard of it from good old Phantom Strider. I cannot for the life of me remember the video it was in, but it looked awful. I had to watch it, and yes, to confirm, this is a horrible movie. But why is it the worst movie I've ever watched? What makes this worse than something like Bucky Larson or Morbius or Scary Movie 5 or any of these other worst movies I've ever watched? Well, unlike all 3 of those movies I just named, there are no redeeming factors in Norm of the North. The film follows a polar bear named Norm, unfortunately not voiced by Norm Macdonald, but he is voiced by a less funny SNL member, after finding out real estate development is going to invade his home. In the Arctic! What madman wants their family to live in a cold, lonely iceberg? Over here we have the latest iceberg model. Okay, you guys are gonna love this. Oh, over there are the penguins of Madagascar. They're miserable as fuck.
Well, this sucks.
And over here, there's a talking polar bear. Woo! Ooh, does he talk? Yes, he does talk, actually. He's voiced by the guy from Grown Ups. Adam Sandler? No. Chris Rock? No. Kevin James? No. The one that everybody hates! Rob f***ing Schneider! He goes to New York to become the mascot of the company, and he spreads the good word of real estate equals bad, corporate greed equals bad, you know, the thing that these stupid kid movies already say. So, yeah, first issue, generic as fuck. There is no new element to any of the plot. All it does is state the obvious. The polar bears are dying. Good. And oh boy, don't get me started on Rob Schneider as Norm. As a matter of fact, I refuse for the remainder of this video to even acknowledge him as Norm. From now on, he's Rob Schneider as Norm. Because this ain't a polar bear, this isn't Norm, this is Rob Schneider with a CGI filter. I already don't find Rob Schneider funny, but to give him some of the worst writing I've ever seen in any animated movie only adds to the disaster. And it's funny because ever since 2016, it's been a huge argument that celebrity voice actors aren't ethical due to the jobs of actual voice actors who make their whole deal being replaced. And I agree, it's weird to me that an animated movie can't even sell well if it doesn't have some kind of star power attached. I'll go more into it on a later date, but just know, I find it weird that movies like Sing and the Mario movie get brought up with the topic, and not this film. Because I really do mean it, Rob Schneider might just be the worst performance in an animated movie from any celebrity. Give credit that for as bad as Awkwafina can be, she had migration. And Raya in The Last Dragon, but y'all not ready for that conversation. And Pauly Shore in Pinocchio was so bad it was hilarious. Rob Schneider mixed with his terrible writing makes for one of the most awkward, stilted, and painful performances in any animated film I've ever watched. Maybe I'm being a little mean on this movie, and it's gone 10 minutes without even making me cringe once, so maybe I'm just being a little mean. It's not like it's referencing a song from 2016 that would immediately date it. Don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. This writing is so bad. It's clear they took every bad element from every bad Illumination movie and made something so ungodly awful. Something that just, you could never bring yourself to smile. I don't even bother trying to remember the other characters. There's no one in this that leaves any form of impact. And the animation, oh my god, it's ugly. What's the other companies behind this film? Oh! These guys also notoriously made most of the Alpha and Omega sequels. Their animation is pretty bad. That's something I should mention. Assemblage simply has something to do with all four of these movies. They weren't the only company on them, but their names are attached to all four of them. With that said, I got one more insult for this film, and it's a big one. You know how 1 year later the Emoji Movie came out and everyone kind of laughed and said, yeah, that would be funny if that was an actual movie? This is my Emoji Movie. I mean it when I say it's the single worst animated film I've ever watched. It's one of those films that I dare say I am so tempted to exclude from 2016 in animation, coming in November. It's such an undeniable stain of animation that I cannot stress enough, stay away. Are we good? Cool? Okay. Let's talk about Arctic Dogs. Just talked about this one in March, and nothing changed. This isn't as ungodly awful as Norm of the North, but it's still pretty bad. Follows an Arctic wolf named, what's his name? Oh right, Swifty. As he dreams to be a delivery guy, but he's stuck in the warehouse instead. Oh, and also there's an evil plot because this company must think kids are stupid. So I'll try to recap quickly my thoughts on this film and why I didn't care for it. The biggest issue is that it plays it so safe it doesn't even try to be different. For a majority of the film, it's just Jeremy Renner Wolf trying to ask Heidi Klum Fox out because, like, they've been childhood friends and they go way back. My dick hurts from how bored I am. That's something I can talk about. Heidi Klum as Jade.
Is this for real? You're not pretending?
She's awful. Yeah, that's what kind of sucks. Most of this voice cast is really talented. Jeremy Renner, Heidi Klum, James Franco, John Cleese. There's a lot of great talent and people who've proven their worth and comedic value, and Alec Baldwin.
There were these authoritative statements about this is what happened.
But the problem is, the script is so boring. Like, it's doing everything in its power to brainwash you into not believing talented people are on this cast. Oh, and that wasn't just a joke about Jeremy Renner's character. No, he is completely interchangeable. He has nothing going for him. I forgot his name was Swifty, which opens up a whole world of Rick and Morty jokes, despite the fact that I've never watched Rick and Morty. If anything, the animation at least looks better than Norm of the North, but is that really an important step up for this film? None of the characters stick with you. The only one I kind of remember was the James Franco bird, and to be fair, I had watched this like right after all that shit came out about him, so I think I remember him for a different reason. The plot is so dumb, but hey, this gives me a perfect chance to finally acknowledge the one thing everyone finds funny about this film. Okay, that's pretty good. It's not even the thing in the film, it's just, okay, I'm so sick of this. It's one of those films that's so inoffensive, it's kinda offensive. It treats its audience like they're dumb, and it's not fair to these kids. I do want to stress, the only reason I'm bitching about these movies is because I purely believe kids deserve more quality content, like Minecraft Chicken Jockey. Okay, one more thing, and then we're moving on to our last film, thank God. The villain is voiced by John Cleese, who is of Monty Python fame. Monty Python is one of the few good things British people ever did. Another good thing British people did, though, was BBC's Sherlock, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch, who was also in the Grinch film from 2018. What else dropped in 2018? Mission Impossible Fallout. Who was in that? Alec Baldwin, who's also in this movie. They're trying to release Rust, don't watch it! Okay, our last film from Assemblage, the most recent one, as in I saw it on the 17th, Sneaks. I remember seeing this trailer like on a whim, and after I'd watched it, I legit thought to myself, oh yeah, there hasn't been a bad animated film in 2025 yet. We needed this. Isn't Smurfs about to carry bad animation this year, trust.
Influencer.
I was just here to get a Smurf and Smurf home. Sorry, I know there's other like influencers who got exposed, but that's just the funniest one to me. Sneaks follows a designer shoe named Ty. Oh my fucking god, his name's Ty, like tie your shoe. I'm not playing into this film's delusion. He believes he deserves to be on display, like on a podium for all to admire. Oh, like what Woody went through in Toy Story 2, except this isn't Toy Story 2, it's f***ing Sneaks. However, he and his sister Maxine, oh what, Lacey was too on the nose, Soline Gomez, Shoe girl. Get won by Edson, a teen who plans to wear them for the big game. Oh yeah, it's called Midnight Madness, by the way. This movie sucks. Ty doesn't want that, Maxine does. They get kidnapped by the Collector, voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, just a taste of the wasted talent in this movie, and get separated. Ty must brave the big city, while Maxine must escape the Collector. So in similarity to the absolute messes this company has already put out, there are some seriously talented people on this cast, like Anthony Mackie, Chloe Bailey, Martin Lawrence, Keith David, Lawrence Fishburne. However, similar to the last two films, the talent is completely wasted with some seriously subpar writing. Keith David plays this, like, master of the streets type Converse. And man, Keith David's a mad talented man. One of the best Disney villains, bite me. But the first thing this man says is something along the lines of, oh, shoes don't talk it out, they converse. Get it? It's like these perfectly fine performers are given absolutely nothing to work with. None of them hit Schneider levels, thank God, but the writing is given like C- at best. The animation is another thing. So the interesting thing about this in comparison to the last two films is that it takes inspiration from Spider-Verse, the cell hybrid animation that made those films unique. Only issue is, in Spider-Verse the characters were able to move in a way that looked choppy, but like out of a comic book. That was kind of the charm. Here, it tries to do that and the animation looks fine, but the way the characters move just reminds me this is the company that will always have animated scat porn on their resume. Also, this is a stupid critique, but I hate how the shoes come to life. It kinda has Toy Story rules where they come to life when humans aren't around. Kinda, because they clearly were alive when humans were around on this basketball court under these bleachers, but my thing is, it's cute when the toys do that because there's a good amount of time toys aren't around kids. Shoes are a common accessory, so are they alive when humans are wearing them, or do they have the Andy's coming treatment until any moment? I should not be questioning the world building of fucking Sneak. Okay, my final issue brings me to why I want to talk about this company. We use the term "it's for kids, why get upset" so much, and I do think most of the things this company has put out have been so downright bad, the excuse "it's just a kids movie" starts to wear off. I'm sick of pretending that kids movies can't be good anymore. Hollywood has had an infamous lazy problem for the last 20 years or so, and it's especially translated to animation because, oh, those films are for babies, why should we care about quality? Why did Disney care about the quality with Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast? Why did Pixar care about the quality with like 95% of their movies? Why did DreamWorks care about quality with Over the Hedge? Because the excuse of something being lazy because it's for kids is something you can definitely overuse with time. Kids aren't stupid by design. I learned some serious life lessons because of these movies that are so-called just for kids. If we continue to baby children with the movies we put out for them, it doesn't challenge them. Not every animated film needs to have tough morals or life lessons, but it needs to engage your children in what's going on rather than just be fodder for them to enjoy one time and forget about. Why do you think so many people my age still remember Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks movies fondly? Because they went out of their way to engage the audience. They made you care about the characters and stories told. The more we use the excuse of "it's for kids," the less kids care. And the less kids care, then what's the point after it all? I've just been very negative recently. I've been smoking a ton of crack recently, and I just feel like I have to push that negativity onto y'all. And I am sorry I get like this, guys. I just care, okay? I really do care that our future generation has good stuff, good morals, good life lessons being taught, and these movies aren't doing it. They aren't it. But you know what? It's okay, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Norm of the North wasn't that bad.